Relations between the UK and China are delicate, or in the Home Secretary's words,
it's a complex arrangement.
It is a complex arrangement. Here are 4 reasons why. First, alleged spying. This week, a judge ruled this man could be named. Yang Tengbo is a Chinese businessman who the UK alleges is a spy. His ban from the UK has just been upheld. He's accused of cultivating relationships with Prince Andrew and with politicians which could be leveraged by China. Yang Tengbo denies this. So does China, which has told the UK to stop creating trouble. Spying allegations don't help relations, and the UK says it will be strong on national security. But it says this too.
We also need to make sure we have that economic interaction, economic cooperation in place as well.
Which brings us to our second reason this is complicated: trade. China accounts for just over 5% of the UK's total trade. It's the UK's 5th largest trading partner. But the last UK government called China the greatest state-based threat to our economic security. The current government is using different language.
We should trade and seek investment when it is in our national interest to do so, and that will be the approach of this government.
In October, Foreign Secretary David Lammy visited China. He emphasised trade and investment. Since Brexit, trade beyond the EU matters even more. China's part of that equation.
The relationship with China is high stakes for the UK. We do need to deal with China for economic reasons.
But trade relations get more complicated when there are major disagreements, such as on human rights. The UK has concerns about China's Uyghur minority. China denies wrongdoing, despite overwhelming evidence of human rights abuses. The UK has raised the crackdown on freedom of speech in Hong Kong and says the release of pro-democracy activist and British citizen Jimmy Lai is a priority. China suggests the UK should cease any form of interference in the region's judicial matters. On human rights, China and the UK are far apart. That's also true of our 4th issue, the war in Ukraine. The UK provides military aid to Ukraine. China has deep ties with Russia. It says it wants peace, but the US accuses it of providing components used by Russia's military. And the UK says there are concerns over China's supply of equipment to Russia's military-industrial complex and warns that this risks damaging China's relationships with Europe, which means there's a tension within the UK's approach to China.
The articulation of common grounds by the Foreign Secretary does not disguise the fact that Xi Jinping's China is totally committed to support Russia in the war in Ukraine.
Put these issues together, the spy allegations, trade, human rights and Ukraine, and we see a relationship that's necessary but difficult. And it's a focus for the government. In November, Keir Starmer and President Xi met, and the government's begun an audit of UK-China relations to assess what needs to change and to wrestle with a familiar question. How should a Western democracy like the UK do business with an authoritarian state like China? There aren't any simple answers.